Welcome, everybody, to the very first episode of the Soulful Success Show. I'm Heather Gagnon.
And I'm Tisha Ladia.
And we are very excited to have you here joining us, like I said, for our very first episode. And Tisha, this is actually the second time that we are,
yes, it is.
that we are doing this. For those of you that are watching this, Tisha and I tried this last week, and it was a huge success, actually, with lots of soul. Tisha and I felt awesome after we did it. And then at the very end, when we stopped recording, we realized that we hadn't been recording at all. So
typical for us.
So goes the way of our journey, right? Like, I actually think that that's so perfect. I might even have to, I did record my reaction because when I hit stop, the look on my face was like, I was like, what? Oh my gosh.
You are super real.
It will definitely be a blooper reel for sure.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's kind of a really good intro about like why we're doing this, right? Because you and I decided that we wanted to start documenting our journey of how sort of life can be messy, right?
Absolutely.
And that success shows up differently for different people. And, how we've gotten to where we are in our lives now through some difficult times. Right? We've had some great experiences. We were brought together through some interesting circumstances, which I think, at some point we'll talk about like how that came to be, how the universe brought us together. But for our first episode, I think we just want to sort of introduce people to ourselves. We're going to sort of, I guess, interview each other. And then, let everybody know what this is all about and hopefully, gain some listeners and some followers. So I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay. Well, you kind of touched on it a little, but the biggest question I thought we'd start our very first podcast with is truly, how did you come up with the idea that we were going to do a podcast? Because I know a lot of thought went into that, and you were toying with a bunch of different ideas for different things. You're going through a lot, so why don't you tell us how you came up with it?
Okay, that's right. That is how we decided to start this. So, much like the way my brain tends to work, I just come up with these things, and I'm like, let's do this and let's do it now,
right?
And you and I think, had just sort of wrapped up a class, and we were sitting here in the school at Kadima Education, and we were just having one of those moments, as you and I do. We are so different in so many ways, right? Like very different, and yet so connected, right? Like there's just a draw that I have towards you,
and I think and vice versa. Yep.
And when you and I start talking, it's like this energy, right? Mm-hmm. Like I feel like this pull, and I also believe that for as long as I've met you, there is this feeling that we're meant to work together on something bigger than whatever it is that we're working on in the moment.
Yeah,
I always think, in the back of my mind, I know that this is the project that we're supposed to be working on. But while we're doing it, I always think there's supposed to be something else that we're supposed to be doing. And so whenever that was that we were sitting here having this very meaningful conversation, I was thinking to myself, God, I wish we were recording this. I wish I wish we were recording this so that other people could gain strength from you and what you've been through. And I feel pulled and have been feeling pulled for a very long time to do more with myself than just teaching real estate education, which is what I've been doing for 10 plus years, coaching, training. I'm passionate about that. I love that. But I want to do more than that. And I have felt pulled to do more. And so when we got into that conversation, I thought, gosh, we sound really good. And I thought, maybe there's something to that. Why don't we see if we could capture that,
right,
and see, right? Like, why not? And I am involved in high performance coaching right now for myself. And my high performance coach says, go for it. Right? Like when the universe, or when I have ambitions or goals or aspirations, I have to ignore that little voice in the back of my head that tells me I can't do something. Instead, I'm supposed to go, hell yeah, let's go. Let's do it. And so Here we are.
Gotcha. Okay. And that's kind of, why I said yes, but kind of, okay, get out of my comfort zone, do that. Hell yeah, let's do this.
Right.
Right.
And for me, I charge right into it. I'm like, let's go get a video camera. Let's go get equipment. Look, microphone, ring light. Okay. And for you, Tisha, you're like, okay, we need a spreadsheet.
What are we talking about?
We need a plan. I'm like, no, we don't need a plan. Let's just do it. Let's just go.
Yeah.
Rush right in.
Well, I kind of figure it's the energy draw, kind of like a yin and a yang between your Pisces and my Virgo. That's kind of exact opposites, the yin, the yang, but the energy is just drawing us together. And I think that's why when we start talking about anything, the sparks just kind of come off every conversation we have regarding whatever the topic is. It does not have to be related to real estate or work or whatever. It could be how people communicate, how to thrive in any aspect of your life, so on and so forth. So,
right. Yeah. And for me, I just think that, it's become abundantly clear to me that we are so much more than what people say. And, everybody has a story. Everybody has stuff. And, we all walk around trying to do better, be better. And we don't know what's going on at home for people. We don't know, what drives people. And for me, I think that, I just want to help people be successful, whatever that looks like. Right. My level of success doesn't necessarily equal the same level of success that somebody else wants.
Right.
But no matter what, it's all an inside job. Right.
Oh, yeah.
And I've learned that you can't compare it to the outsides. Right. Like I used to think that success had sort of an outward sort of appearance and that I knew it when I saw it. But now I'm realizing that when I see true success on people, yeah, it shows up looking like certain things, but the truly successful people are emanating it from within themselves. And yes, they might be able to do certain things in their lives as a result, but that's because they have been doing all the right things, right? Taking care of themselves, being healthy, having healthy routines. And so that other surfacey stuff is a byproduct of it. but the true success is inside of them. Right.
Absolutely.
Right. And so that's really the piece that I am attracted to. And so learning not to compare my insides to other people's outsides, but to aspire to have my own inner success and then help others achieve that same level of inner success is really what my mission is.
Well, and I think the perspective of success changes as we age and we grow and we gain experience, right? We're all taught as children, success is graduating high school, then it's graduating college, then it's getting a successful career where you can support yourself, then it's getting married maybe, or having kids, you know, or whatever picture of success your family has taught you through the years. And once we've gained all that, then it changes to we've gained enough experience. We've done what we were supposed to do in the eyes of our family or our upbringing or our culture. And then you get to a point where you're like, okay, now I want success for me. What's my passion? How do I judge my own success level?
Right.
Because if I internally feel that success, I'm going to beam that higher energy going, I got this. Let me help you get to the same level.
Right. And what happens when maybe that path that we've taken wasn't our truth, right? That we've been
very much so.
And learning to gain clarity to know thyself.
Exactly.
Right? Like to be able to sit and say, wow, do I even know myself? Who am I? Do I do the things that I do? Why do I do the things that I do? Do I do these things because they're true to myself? Or do I do them because I was told that these are the right things to do? But are they really the right things to do for me? Or am I stifling my voice? Right?
Well,
because society tells me to stifle my voice. My significant other, my parents taught me that, like finding out who we are and then all of a sudden realizing, wow, how successful have I really been if I haven't been being true to myself?
Absolutely.
Right?
And a lot of times you don't know that until you're done raising your family. And either you're close to, as I am, or you are an empty nester per se, where you have to focus on yourself, especially as you gain the knowledge, right? I mean, for me, my biggest tester of who I really was my daughter. And her questioning some of the things I've said and done, going, really, Mom? And I went, no, maybe that isn't right. Maybe it is time I open up a little more,
Right.
And we just never know who is going to be that right person to challenge us ourselves to us, then find ourselves again, right? Because you get in this bubble and it's time to break free.
Wow. Yeah, so we have lots of stuff to talk about.
Well, that's a big one.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So people, obviously Tisha and I can go off on tangents. This is what happens. This is very unscripted. You never know. We're going to try and script it. We're really going to try to have, different topics that we're going to talk about and
don't count on it.
Yeah. Who knows where that will be. But I think the whole idea is that, we want to share from our own experience. Some of it's hard. I think that's important to let people know that there's been some hard stuff for both of us. Definitely. Different stuff, hard stuff. But I think I know I can only speak for myself that, man, I have been doing so much work, more work in the last 12 months than years of therapy did. for me.
I can see that for you. Absolutely.
Like amazing. And it is like, my family sees it. Like it is like, it's like popping out of me.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know why, and it's almost like, um, it's almost like you got to break before you can put yourself back together again. And I didn't even realize that I was breaking, a year ago and leading up to a year ago. Because it was a slow crumble. And I thought I was doing fantastic. Right? I thought I was on top of the world. But I was pushing myself too hard. I had lost myself.
Oh.
I had put everything before myself, before my mental health, before my physical health. And then I broke. But it broke wide open. And I just dove deep in, and then all the stuff, and so I feel so ready to talk about so much stuff. And you're right, it could be that I'm at that stage in my life, right? And I'm grateful that you're at a place in your life that you feel that you can talk about your stuff. But I also want us to have fun, right? I also want there to be some comedy and some humor, because I am loopy, that, right? And Rain.
I can be loopy.
So I don't want people to feel like, oh, this is going to be a deep, dark, heavy, as they used to say on Grey's Anatomy, I don't want them to think it's going to be all dark and twisty.
Right.
It's not always going to be like that. But, I think that, I think with pain, there's growth.
There is. And I kind of think for us, this is coming at the exact right time, not just from all the healing you've been working on based off everything that's happened in the last 12 months, as you put it. Mm-hmm. But, this is the time where even astrologers are saying that there is true chaos in order to push us all through, especially the first 6 months of this year, to get us all to the point where we're shedding the things in our lives that are no longer for our highest good.
Right.
So that we can accept the next path and what is for the best, for that growth for everyone on Earth at this point in time. So I think it's kind of happened at the exact right moment for you.
Yeah. So I know it sounds kind of vague, and if anybody's watching this, they're probably like, what are you guys talking about? It's a lot. It's a lot of stuff, right? It's a lot of stuff. It's work stuff. It's family stuff. It's health stuff. It's kid stuff, right?
Yep.
It's a lot, right? Just a lot happened last year, and we'll dive into it. I promise. It's a culmination of just so many things all coming to a head at one time, which is kind of what happens. It just all sort of comes together. It's amazing, and yet, we're so resilient. We so we just keep.
It's amazing that as hard as life can get at times, and how there are times, I'm sure, in everyone's life where we say, that's it, I'm done. Just take me out of this world. I'm done, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you get to that point where you get to the other side and you go, that wasn't as bad as I felt like it was, and I really learned something that I can now take with me into whatever my next life path journey, whatever it may be, next chapter of my book kind of thing, right?
Right. So here's my big question. And I want to make sure, because if people are watching this, they've now been watching us for 40 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Or something like that, right? How long have we been talking? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's only been about 20, maybe.
Okay. Is it 20? Okay. Yeah. Feels like longer. If you're still here.
Yes.
Right? Thank you, first of all. If you're still here, Should we be singing and dancing at this point, telling a joke? Like, how do we keep people engaged, right? And give them something of value.
Well,
Right?
and as we go along, I think if we could get some responses that say, maybe can you expand on this topic, or, something, if you've got suggestions for us. What you missed when we didn't record last week, Heather had a really amazing statement, and that was to remind everybody that what we say, nothing's new. It's our story, our perspective, but what we learn or have learned and want to share, anyone we've learned it from, we will definitely be able to give credit to and kind of give you those resources as to what we have learned from. Should you want to go down and in any kind of rabbit hole, as I usually say, into that same topic.
Yeah. I really wish I had hit record last week. I felt like I was so good. Well, and so what just popped into my head as the words came out of my mind, out of my mind, as they came out of my mouth was, we're not doing this for other people.
That's true. We're doing this for us.
We're doing this for us.
Yeah.
And I don't care what anybody else thinks. Sorry. Like,
no.
That's the growth. Right? Like, this. I mean, I do care. It isn't that I don't care. I absolutely care. But I am not. I need to do this because I want to add value and I want to help people. But if people don't want to be here, that's okay.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. But if I try to be something that I'm not, and I feel like I need to entertain to keep people here, then I'm not going to be true to myself, and I'm going to be ingenuine. So that's what went through my head as I made that statement. And so I had to say that because that's what Growth Day talked about today, which I am doing Growth Day. And gosh, Brenda Burchard is just changing my entire life. And today he was talking about, being true to ourselves. And it, so I can't even lie to myself anymore.
Yep. And for those of you who don't know, Growth Day will be a topic of a future podcast because Heather's going to fully expand on how one.
Oh, yes.
I have not done it yet, but she's going to tell us.
Yeah. Brenda Burchard is a best-selling author and top high-performance coach. And I started doing Growth Day, and it has changed my life. It has changed my life. It is now ingrained in me, like nothing has ever affected me before. And trust me, I have, and it is, I've done a lot of things, and it isn't like I do them like fads, right? I don't hop from, let's try this, let's try this, let's try this. Personal growth is part of my life and has been part of my journey for a very long time. I'm a recovering drug and alcohol user, 35 years, right? So I have worked a 12-step program for 35 years. So personal growth is part of my life, right? So somewhere in there, whether it's, self-improvement, reading meditation, doing affirmations, all of that has been a part of my life the majority of my adult life. And I have never found anything, excuse me, I'm getting choked up. I've never found anything like this before. And again, I think that sometimes it's about timing, right?
Absolutely.
And where my mind is. But, and I am realizing that the lies, I don't even want to call them lies, or untruths, or deceptions, that I've told myself over the years, were really there for protection. And I didn't even know that I was telling myself those things. Like I truly, truly believed for myself that the way that I was living my life was true to myself.
Yeah.
You know, strong woman in recovery, ambitious, showing up, doing the right things. And, you know, this channel, right, where we're going to be posting this podcast, I have chosen to name it Life on Purpose. And the reason for that is because I realize that I haven't really been living my life on purpose. I have been living my life like, wee, and you know me, right?
I do.
Like, and I almost embrace that. Like my personality is, let's just go. Let's just go do this. It is what it is. Right? And I know we're probably going to have to wrap this up soon, but that whole attitude of it is what it is, and let's just play it by ear, and let's not have a plan, is fear of failure, lack of commitment. Because if I say the words and I make the commitment and I say it out loud, I am going to do this. I have a plan, and I don't do it, then I fail, I disappoint you, I disappoint myself. But if I don't tell anybody and it just happens, and then, wow, how'd she do that? Look at what she did.
Oh.
Right? I didn't tell anybody I was going to go do that. I just went and did it. Right? Mm-hmm. But if it didn't happen, if I didn't say, I'm going to go try and get that promotion, or I'm going to go do this, or I'm going to go do that, right? Then nobody's going, so how'd it go? How'd it go? How'd it go? And if it didn't go well, I didn't have to put myself in the position of saying, yeah, it didn't go well. Right? So I just keep everything to myself. But that's not being accountable, right? Being accountable is losing. Being accountable is failing.
True.
Right? Being accountable is messing up and saying, you know what, I messed up. And that's okay. Right? It's being on purpose. It's being on purpose. And so I'm on purpose.
Yep.
Right? And it's okay to kind of be like, wee. I can still be wee. But I got to plan it. I got to have a little bit more intention. Right? And I gotta keep people in the loop.
I hope everyone who's watched this is ready to stay tuned for what we do next.
Yes.
And we will definitely keep this going, even if it's just us and family who watch, right?
Yeah. So if you're tuning in on purpose or on accident, that's okay.
Yep.
Right? Just come back. Right? We'll be posting these. There's probably, when you tune into this, you'll probably see a bunch of them. So thanks for joining us. I'm Heather.
I'm Tisha.
And we are the Soulful Success Show. And we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.